Oh my goodness. I'm in a crazy world of emotions right now. But the first thing I want to talk about, I didn't get to talk about it yet. Um, Sending my thoughts and prayers to Damar Hamlin. What I watched Monday night was one of the scariest incidents I've ever seen, the scariest thing I've ever seen in sports. Him being given CPR on the field, and the Bills Bengals game Monday night getting postponed, and just canceling the game. And now he's recovering. He's still in the hospital, but he's able to speak now. He was on a FaceTime with the Buffalo Bills, and that's so inspiring. How much he fought, and how much those doctors fought for him, man. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills medical team for literally saving this man's life. Um, I mean, I'm just incredibly happy that he seems to be trending in the right direction. He was flexing on the FaceTime with the Buffalo Bills, and I'm just really happy that he's on the road to recovery, and he's doing better, way better than he was a couple days ago. And the quote when he woke up and he was able to write on a piece of paper, "Did we who won the game?" And the doctor said, "You won, Damar. You won the game of life." I mean, man, that's so inspiring, man. And I didn't get to talk about it this week, and I wanted to make sure that I got to that because that's way more important than the game of football. And I'm just incredibly happy that he's recovering on the road to recovery. He was able to talk to his teammates today. He posted a picture of the hospital going with a heart emoji with the Pray for Damar shirts, watching his Buffalo Bills from the hospital. So, Damar, we love you, man. We're still praying for you, and we hope you keep battling, man, because right now you're kicking ass. So, I just wanted to bring that up to start the show. But holy shit, man. The Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins. It's been a rough road. Let's be honest. It has been a rough road, man. They gave the Dolphins a safety, so the Dolphins won 11-6 over the New York Jets. It's been a rough couple weeks, man. It has been rough with the 5-game losing streak, Tua getting another concussion, Armstead being banged up, the defense. This week there's questions if Mike McDaniel is going to be fired. And now, year one, he's got the Miami Dolphins to the playoffs. It wasn't pretty at all. One of the ugliest games I've ever seen as a Dolphins fan. The Dolphins beat the New York Jets 11-6, and now they're in the playoffs. They'll be playing the Buffalo Bills wild card weekend, and man, I'll talk about it at the end because I got a lot to say. I really don't have much with this game. We are going to talk about the game. I'll talk about MVP of the game and all that stuff. I think it's pretty obvious today. But, man, thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. It's been a crazy weekend. I was in Jacksonville last night with my buddy who's a Titans fan. We went up to go watch the Titans-Jaguars game for the AFC South Division. The Jaguars ended up winning that game 20-16. It was a great game. I was cheering for the Titans. Wish the Titans had won. But you know what, man? It was a great trip. It was a great game to be at. I was 6 rows from the field, right next to where the Titans tunnel is, and it was just a great experience, man. So hopefully I get to make a trip back down to Jacksonville sometime in the future. But, man, I want to celebrate. Unfortunately, I do have a really important project that I have to get to. But without further ado, I want to talk about the playoffs and more of that stuff. And let's just get into the game. This game against the Jets, one of the most ugly games I've ever seen as a Dolphins fan. No, there's no question about that. But you know what? I watched that game from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And damn it, it was worth it. Because it ended up getting the Miami Dolphins to the playoffs and a chance to face the Buffalo Bills next week, which I'm going to talk about after I go over this game. So let's get into some stats first. Pretty ugly stats for both teams. Joe Flacco, 18 for 33, 149 yards. Zonovan Bam Knight had 12 catches for 22 yards. Garrett Wilson, Xavier Howard. I don't know how that man's a Pro Bowler, but I've never seen a Miami Dolphin have a bigger decline than I have Xavier Howard this season. I cannot believe that man's a Pro Bowler. Garrett Wilson had 17 targets. He had 9 catches for 89 yards. He must have lost yardage at the last play of the game because at one point I believe he had like 98 yards or something like that. So he must have lost yardage on the last play of the game. Corey Davis, 1 catch, 17 yards. Tyler Conklin, 2 catches for 13 yards. And Ty Johnson had 2 catches for 13 yards. Skylar Thompson on the Miami Dolphins side of things. Skylar Thompson was not good. Skylar Thompson was not good at all today. I guess he needed to do I guess he did what he needed to do, get some good throws, but overall, I did not think Skylar Thompson had a good game. 20 for 31 with 152 yards. Jeff Wilson, 17 carries, 72 yards. Raheem Mostert, 11 carries, 71 yards. The Dolphins had 162 yards in the rushing game. The run game was really good today. And if you want to go into Buffalo, you need to do the same thing you did to them week 15, and that is run the ball. Now, obviously, the status of Raheem Mostert is in question right now. I believe he hurt his thumb, but I think these Dolphin players now, hopefully we get Armstead back. I'll save it for after the game. Raheem Mostert had a good game. So did Jeff Wilson. Mike Gesicki had the most yards today. He had 4 catches for 46 yards. Good game by Mike Gesicki. Had a 32-yard catch, which was an absolute meatball by Skylar Thompson. Jalen Waddle, 5 catches for 44 yards. Durham Smythe, 3 catches for 39 yards. Tyreek Hill, 2 catches, 23 yards. And yeah, that's all. Defensive stats. Javon Holland had 5 tackles. No sacks. No sacks at all. But it's more that the Jets offense is atrocious. I mean, they have not scored a touchdown in 3 games, man. It's not like our offense was good today either, but the Jets offense is really bad. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It could be Zach Wilson against Jacksonville, and they put up 3 points. It could be Mike White against the Seahawks, and they put up 6 points. It could be Joe Flacco against the Dolphins, and they put up 6 points. They have not scored a touchdown. They didn't score a touchdown the final 3 weeks of the season, and it's going to be an off season of questions of who the who's the next guy for the Jets, because it's not obviously it's not Flacco. Mike White's not the guy, and Zach Wilson's probably not the guy either. But it's going to be a long off season for them. But without further ado, let's get into this game. Again, a game that really doesn't have much to it, since the final score was 11-6. The Miami Dolphins' first possession, they go 9 plays, 31 yards, and they end up going for it on 4th and 5 after Skyler gets it to Jalen Waddle for 7 yards. And Skyler is faced with pressure and throws the ball away for an incomplete pass. That's just a stupid call by Mike McDaniel. He's calling the game like he's playing Madden. And, man, you got to, with a game with field position, where field position matters, you cannot go for it in that situation. That's not good football. That's not good football at all. So the Dolphins turn over on downs. The Jets punt in 6 plays. The Dolphins get the ball back. They get a 15-yard pass to Tyreek Hill on 3rd down. Jeff Wilson for 12 yards. Durham Smythe for 26 yards. And then Connor Williams, miscommunication with Skylar Thompson. Apparently, Skylar had a hard time hearing the play calling from McDaniel in the headset during the game. And that came into play with this play because Skylar Thompson was like, I can't hear. And Connor Williams snapped the ball way over his head. And it ended up being a loss of 23 yards. So the Dolphins punt. The Jets go 3 and out. The Dolphins go 3 and out. And then the Jets start at their own 45-yard line. Corey Davis for 17 yards on 2nd down. 3rd and 9, incomplete to Garrett Wilson. And Greg Zuerlein misses a 55-yard field goal. The Dolphins then go 10 plays, 36 yards to get a field goal. They're the first points of the game. 3rd and 1, Jeff Wilson gets a nice gain of 11 yards. Jeff Wilson again for 3 and 4. And on 3rd and 3, Skyler finds Jalen Waddle for 11 yards. Holding on the Jets doesn't matter. 3rd and 12, Skyler to Jeff Wilson for no gain. And Jason Sanders makes a 37-yard field goal to put the Dolphins up 3-0. The Jets then go 11 plays, 61 yards for a field goal right before halftime. The Dolphins actually had time, but they weren't able to get points before halftime. 3rd and 9, you got a defensive offsides by Bradley Chubb. Then you get a false start on the Jets. And on 3rd and 9, Flacco still gets a first down to Ty Johnson. The defense still having trouble to get off the field on 3rd down. And that is going to be an issue in the playoffs. Gosh, I'm smiling every time I say the word playoffs now. That's going to be an issue if you do that in the playoffs. At the Jets 38, Garrett Wilson for 36 yards. Pathetic play, man. You have 3 defenders around Garrett Wilson, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, and I believe the other one was Eric Rowe and Landon Roberts it was, and none of them's able to come up with the tackle. I mean, that's just straight out pathetic, man, and you got to make the tackle in that situation. That was brutal. That was brutal to watch, and that's pitiful by the Dolphins. 3rd and 5, Tyler Conklin for 6 yards, one-handed catch. 2nd and 9, loss of 5 by Michael Carter on a pass from Joe Flacco, and then Zonovan Knight a gain of 5. And Greg Zuerlein makes a 32-yard field goal, and that's halftime. tied at 3. The Jets, they go 3 and out to start the quarter, the second half. The Dolphins, this is how you know both offenses are bad. Were really bad today when I go over these next 2 drives. The Dolphins go 15 plays, 72 yards. They take up 8 minutes and 12 seconds, only to get a field goal by Jason Sanders. 1st and 10 at the 20, Durham Smythe for 9 yards. 2nd and 1, Raheem Mostert for 14 yards. This is when Raheem really got the run game going. Raheem Mostert for 14, Raheem Mostert for 11, 3rd and 5, incomplete. You go for it on 4th and 5 again, and you run the ball with Jeff Wilson, and he gets you 8 yards for a first down. So 1st and 15 after delay of game. Skylar Thompson to Durham Smythe for 4 yards. Tyreek Hill had an ankle injury on the day, ankle problem during the day. He tried playing through it. He really wasn't much of an impact in this game at all. He had 2 catches for 23 yards, and that ankle was really bothering him. We're going to need him at 100% for next week against Buffalo. Skylar Thompson to Raheem Mostert for a loss of 11. They get 5 yards back by River Craycraft, and Skylar Thompson goes deep into the end zone for Tyreek Hill, but it's incomplete to Quinnen Williams, who had his back turned, and I thought it should have been pass interference because his back was turned, and he wasn't even looking for the ball when he was covering Tyreek Hill. I thought that was pass interference, but wasn't called. Jason Sanders makes a 37-yard field goal again. I believe that's where the same field goal was. Yes. So he's made 2 field goals from 37 yards at this time. The Jets, they go 14 plays, 58 yards. They take up 8 minutes and 19 seconds, and they get a field goal on their own. Garrett Wilson for 16 yards. 3rd and 5, Garrett Wilson for 5 yards. This dude was a killer against the Dolphins today. Offensive holding against the Jets, 1st and 20, Garrett Wilson for 12 yards. Ty Johnson for 2 yards. 3rd and 6, Garrett Wilson, 11 yards, first down. Joe Flacco, that's all he would throw to was Garrett Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Garrett Wilson, and the Dolphins couldn't stop him at all. 3rd and 1 at the Dolphins 25, Zonovan Knight for 3 yards. 3rd and 12, false start, and then 3rd and 17, Ty Johnson gets a gain of 12, and Greg Zuerlein kicks a 35-yard field goal for a tied game, 6-6. So that was the first point of the fourth quarter, as the Jets tying the game 6-6. Miami punts in 5 plays. The Jets punt in 7, 3rd and 9. Who else but Garrett Wilson? 3rd and 11, Flacco got it to Garrett Wilson for 9 yards, but McDaniel throws the challenge flag, and McDaniel gets his first challenge correct on the season. It took him 18 weeks. It took him 17 games to get a challenge right, but he got it. Incomplete pass, and the Jets punt. Congrats to Mike McDaniel. We'll talk about him later too. The Dolphins punt. The Jets 3 and out. Intentional grounding by Joe Flacco makes it 2nd and 24. Flacco to Michael Carter for 6 yards, and on 3rd and 18, Garrett Wilson gets tackled by Kato Kohu for 6 yards. The Dolphins start at their own 32-yard line, and at this point, the season is in the hands of this offense. Skylar Thompson for 2 yards. Skylar Thompson to Jalen Waddle for 9 yards. 2nd and 8. He needed 9. He got 9. First down, Dolphins. 2nd and 9. He got it to Jalen Waddle, and it was called a horse collar tackle on Quinnen Williams. Waddle was actually injured on the play. He didn't come back in the game. He landed awkwardly with his right knee, and I mean, this team is banged up. They're really banged up, man. First and 10 at the 39. Savon Ahmed gets us a 7-yard gain on 2nd and 9. And on 3rd and 2, Quinnen Williams blasts up the middle to tackle Jeff Wilson for a 1-yard loss. Timeout is called. This game is in the hands of Jason Sanders. The playoffs are in the hands of Jason Sanders, and we know how he's been struggling from 50-plus during the season. Struggling. It's been a rough year for Jason Sanders. Jason Sanders kicks it right down the middle. It's good, and he sends the Dolphins to the playoffs. The Jets get the ball one more time. They lateral it. I literally didn't know it was for a safety, but it ended up being a safety because Garrett Wilson was tackled in the end zone. And the Dolphins, for the second time in my life, are going to the playoffs. It wasn't pretty. It was an extremely ugly game. All we needed was one. I would have liked to have been 11-6, or I would have liked to have been 12-5. But you know what? What did I say in the summer? What did myself and so many other Dolphin fans say in the summer? The expectation from this team was to get to the playoffs. And you got there. Congratulations. I'm thrilled. I get to watch the Dolphins in a playoff game for the second time in my life. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to watch the Dolphins in the playoffs. They get a wild card game. They're playing the Bills. The AFC playoffs are set. It's the Dolphins, Bills, Ravens, Bengals, and the Chargers and Jaguars. The playoffs are set. The Dolphins are going to Buffalo, and they're banged up. The Dolphins are banged up. They don't have their starting quarterback. Raheem Mostert's hurt. Tyreek Hill has an ankle injury. Jalen Waddle got hurt at the end of the game. Brandon Shell's hurt. Teron Armstead's banged up. We've had a hurt secondary since the beginning of the season. The Dolphins are banged up. Will they get everybody back? They're not on the offense. I hope. I think Tyreek Hill's going to play. That Waddle injury didn't look great. Is Tua going to play? I don't know. That's the big one. Tua and Armstead. Because I've given Tua a lot of criticism, and rightfully so, the past couple weeks. Because he played bad in December. He played horrible in December. But my goodness, Skylar Thompson's trash. Teddy Bridgewater is not good. If we have to go into Buffalo with Skylar Thompson or Teddy Bridgewater under center, we're going to lose by 30. We're going to lose by 5 touchdowns. And that's not me hating, because I don't want to hate right now, because I'm excited. But that's just me stating the fact. And we'll talk about it more during the week. Now that we're in the playoffs, I'm going to be making a lot of content this week, man. It's going to be good. But this Dolphins team is banged up for sure, man. Tua, Mostert, Tyreek, Waddle got hurt at the end of the game. Armstead, Brendan Shell, I don't know. But We'll see. I did like the adjustment they made when Brandon Shell got out. I didn't know what they were going to do, but they went with Greg Little at left tackle, Eichenberg, who played okay today, Connor Williams at center. They put Robert Jones at right guard, and they put Hunt at right tackle, which he played there last year. No, he played right guard. He played right guard. But I actually like Hunt at right tackle. If we need him there, I think he could do a great job there. We have Hunt on one side, and hopefully, cross your fingers, Teron Armstead on the other side. But the main thing is going to be if we can get Tua back. If we can get Tua back for the wild card game, that would be big. And if he can't play, he's not our guy. And I know that might be a hot topic, but availability is the best ability when it comes to a quarterback. If your so-called franchise quarterback is not available when you need him, then he's not the guy. The last time he had a concussion, he missed 2 games. Tua has missed 2 games. Will he be back? That's going to be the main question, man. Because with him in there, with Armstead in there, I think they have a chance. And we'll talk about it. They match up really well against Buffalo. The 2 games they've had against Buffalo this season, my goodness. The 2 games they've had against Buffalo this season have been really competitive. The Dolphins won the first game 21-19, and the Bills barely won the second game 32-29. And the Dolphins should have won that second game. The Dolphins should have won. If Mike McDaniel doesn't throw the ball on 3rd and 1, I think the Dolphins are going to win that game. But we get to face them again. We've earned ourselves a trip down to Orchard Park and the Buffalo Bills. When that game's going to happen, I don't know. I'll either make a video tomorrow or Tuesday, possibly tomorrow, because I have class Tuesday in the afternoon. So I think tomorrow should be fine. So, but I'm going to get out of here, man. I got a project to work on for school. It's due tomorrow morning. I got a show tomorrow morning at school that I have to prepare for, so college, whatever. But I'm going to get out of here, man. Through all the ups and through all the downs, I've gave this team so much criticism, but it was not pretty at all. But I'm happy. I'm proud of my team for doing what they needed to do to get to the playoffs. The expectation was to get to the playoffs. For it to be a successful season, you have to win a playoff game. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be really, really tough. It's going to be really tough going into Buffalo and winning next weekend. But you know what? What do you think Buffalo's think? What do you think Buffalo is thinking about this game? I don't think they want to see the Dolphins. If the Dolphins are healthy, I don't think they want to see the Dolphins. But we'll talk about it. It'll be Dolphins and Bills fans going at it all week on Twitter. So I'm out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing some Dolphins content this week now. A video tomorrow, maybe an extra video during the week. More than likely a preview on Friday. So be tuned for that. And the schedule comes out tonight, I think. So tomorrow, we should definitely know by tomorrow what time they're going to be playing. And by the way, let me look at the temperature that is going to be in Buffalo next weekend. So let's see. Oh, it's going to be cold. It's going to be like it was last time. Saturday. Uh, the high is 30 and the low is 25. And Sunday, the high is 35 and the low is 21. So it's going to be a cold one. It is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a cold one. So thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the like button if you want to. Be sure to go ahead and hit that like button if you like what you heard from me. Comment down below your thoughts on the Dolphins win over the Jets and them making the playoffs. You can follow me on Twitter and TikTok at Conlon_Joseph. And I'm out of here, man. Have a good one. Stay safe. And as always, fins up.